Why did Sinon take Antinous' place? The Odyssey explained. Warning: this video contains spoilers for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. The story you're about to hear is based on Christopher Nolan's adaptation, not Homer's original Odyssey. The childhood connection between Sinon and Antinous, the military lottery, and the exchange that sends Sinon to Troy are original storylines created for the film. In Greek mythology, these events never happened. Now, let's begin. One of the biggest mysteries in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey isn't about the Cyclops, or the Sirens, or even the Trojan horse. It's about a young soldier named Sinon. After watching the movie, many viewers were left asking the same questions. Why did Sinon go to Troy if he wasn't supposed to? Why did Antinous stay behind? Why did Odysseus allow it to happen? And why does Odysseus carry so much guilt over Sinon's fate years later? The answer begins long before the Trojan War, when two boys drew lots that would change their lives forever. Let's explain. A story Nolan invented. Before we continue, it's important to understand one thing. This entire backstory is Christopher Nolan's original creation. In Homer's Odyssey, Antinous is the cruel leader of Penelope's suitors. Sinon doesn't even appear in Homer's poem. Instead, Sinon is introduced centuries later in Virgil's Aeneid, where he knowingly tricks the Trojans into bringing the wooden horse inside their city. The two characters have no relationship in the ancient myths. Nolan changes all of that by connecting their lives years before the Trojan War, the lottery that changed everything. As the film explains, when King Agamemnon calls upon Greece to wage war against Troy, not every young man volunteers. Instead, Ithaca holds a lottery. Young men draw wooden lots to determine who must leave for war. This lottery is another invention of Nolan's film. It isn't described in Homer or supported as a historical Mycenaean military system. When the lots are drawn, fate smiles on Sinon. He draws the lot that allows him to stay home with his family. Antinous isn't so lucky. He draws the lot that sends him to Troy. For a brief moment, it seems their futures are decided, but Antinous refuses to accept his fate. Why they switched places? Antinous comes from a wealthy and influential family. Sinon is the son of a poor servant. Knowing he has been chosen for war, Antinous secretly approaches Sinon with an offer. He asks Sinon to take his place. In return, Antinous promises that while Sinon fights in Troy, his own wealthy family will provide food, money, and protection for Sinon's father. It seems like an honorable agreement. Sinon isn't motivated by glory. He isn't trying to become famous. He simply believes another young man is keeping his word. Out of kindness and trust, Sinon agrees. He gives up the safety that fate had granted him and walks willingly toward war. It is one of the most selfless decisions in the entire film. Why didn't Odysseus stop it? This is where Nolan adds another emotional layer. Odysseus witnesses the exchange. He knows Antinous is afraid. He could cancel the agreement. Instead, he allows it. Why? Because he believes Antinous will honor his promise. To protect Antinous' father from the shame of learning that his son tried to avoid the war, Odysseus even hides the truth. He believes he is preserving peace between two families. Instead, that decision becomes one of the greatest mistakes of his life. Antinous' betrayal. Sinon leaves for Troy believing his family will be cared for, but Antinous never keeps his promise. No money arrives. No food is delivered. No one protects Sinon's father. While Sinon spends 10 long years risking his life in one of history's greatest wars, his own family falls into poverty. By the time the truth is revealed, Sinon's father has died as a homeless beggar. The young man who sacrificed everything to save another family couldn't even save his own. That betrayal transforms Antinous into far more than an arrogant suitor. It reveals that his selfishness existed long before Odysseus returned to Ithaca. The Trojan horse changes everything. Nolan also completely reimagines Sinon's most famous role. In classical mythology, Sinon knowingly deceives the Trojans. He understands the entire Trojan horse plan. He lies with confidence because he is part of the strategy. But Nolan changes that. His Sinon never learns the full truth. Odysseus tells him only enough to convince the Trojans that the wooden horse is a sacred gift to Athena. he never tells Sinon that dozens of Greek soldiers are hiding inside. Why? Because Odysseus believes genuine fear is more convincing than acting. As he later explains, dying men tell the truth. If Sinon truly believes he has been abandoned, the Trojans will believe him too. And they do. Sadly, Sinon pays for that trust with his life. The truth revealed in the underworld. Years later, during his journey home, Odysseus enters the underworld. There, he meets Sinon's spirit. Instead of thanking his commander, Sinon confronts him. He reveals that Antinous broke his promise. His father died poor and forgotten. Only then does Odysseus understand the full cost of the decision he made before the war. He realizes that while Troy was won, an innocent family was destroyed. This moment becomes one of Nolan's most emotional additions because it transforms Odysseus's journey into one of guilt as well as survival. Greek mythology versus Nolan's film. This is where the biggest difference lies. In Greek mythology, Sinon is remembered as the clever soldier who tricks the Trojans into accepting the wooden horse. He knowingly participates in the deception. Antinous appears years later as the leader of Penelope's suitors. The two men never meet. They never exchange places. And there is no childhood promise between them. Christopher Nolan completely rewrites their relationship. His Sinon becomes a noble young man whose compassion is exploited. Antinous becomes a coward who lets someone else fight his war. Instead of making Sinon a villain, Nolan makes him one of the greatest victims of the Trojan War. Final thoughts. So, why did Sinon take Antinous' place? Not because he wanted glory, not because he dreamed of becoming a hero. He did it because he trusted a promise. He believed Antinous would protect his family while he fought for Greece. That promise was broken. His family paid the price. And years later, Odysseus finally understood that one decision made before the war had created another tragedy that no victory at Troy could erase. It's one of Christopher Nolan's most powerful original additions to the Odyssey. By giving Sinon a heartbreaking backstory, Nolan reminds us that history often remembers kings and heroes. But the greatest sacrifices are sometimes made by ordinary people whose names are almost forgotten. What did you think of Sinon's story? Did Nolan's new backstory make him one of the film's most tragic characters, or do you prefer the original version from Greek mythology? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more The Odyssey explainers, Greek mythology, movie breakdowns, hidden details, and entertainment news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.